Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. Now, this is a TED Talk and it's out of Rupin. This is a very interesting study because it tells us something that we've known for a long time. Diets don't work on a general, no matter what you do, because individual bodies, genetics, eating habits, and other things, bacteria, that's in the gut is different. So this is interesting because it's telling us what we've known. The challenge is how to monitor ourselves through an app, through maybe a glucose meter that's on our body, um, so we can get a better understanding of what our meals do to our glucose in our blood. Of course, the sugar levels affect a lot of things in our body.
But when different people ate the same meal, the response was very different.
Now, we're talking about response in scientific study. So when you're eating the same meal with different people, their responses were different with the sugar levels.
White bread induced almost no effect on the blood sugar levels of some people, but in others it induced huge spikes. And the same was true for every single food we tested, including rice, pizza, sushi, and even chocolate. For every food, there were some people who had low responses, others who had medium responses, and yet others that had very high responses. It wasn't just about the food. It was also about the person eating it.
Now, this is a key understanding. It's about the person eating it. How is their body reacting to the same substances? So it's not just a menu, but it's how is our body reacting to those substances? What is our body doing to those food substances?
So while averages and trends are informative, for any given individual, they may not mean much. Now, it wasn't just about how good the body was at handling sugar. Each person had different foods that spiked his levels. Some people even had opposite responses. For example, some people spiked for ice cream, but not for rice. But then others spiked for rice and not for ice cream. In fact, more people spiked for rice than for ice cream. Now, my wife is a clinical dietitian, so when I showed her this data, she was shocked because as a practitioner, she of course relies on general dietary guidelines. And so one of the first things that she tells her many newly diagnosed prediabetics is to stop eating foods such as ice cream and instead eat more complex carbohydrates such as brown rice. So as soon as she saw her data, she of course realized that for most of her patients, not only does her dietary advice not help, but in fact it pushes them faster to develop the very same disease that her advice was meant to prevent. So these results of ours on such a large data set convinced us that responses to food are personal, and that diets that maintain normal blood glucose levels must therefore be personally tailored to the individual.
That's the key. The diets must be personal. The person must adapt those things according to their body and what it's doing. But you got to know what your body's doing with the different foods. And then you can adjust things up personally and specifically for the individual. Now we have apps to do that. Evidently, they're getting into apps to do that. We have glucose monitors that can be put on a body and they can read what happens after your meal. But you have to adjust your eating habits according to how your body reacts to those different food types. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. I'll put this 20-minute talk on this video and we'll go from there. Good day.